All right, dude, let's see what you got. Tilt the nose down and throw the disc right at the basket hard. That is what I'm talking about. That is a ballistic. Look at it go. Look at that drive. Look at it go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
I want to throw a disc far. I've never broken 500 feet throwing a disc, so I'd love to break 500.
You're hard on yourself for a guy who's been playing for about 3.5 months. Today, we are working with one of my newest students, Regan. And Regan is a phenomenon. He and I have been working together for a little bit over 3 months. And in that span, he's gone from a complete beginner to some guy who can bomb the disc. Watch this. Bam. That thing is launched. When I first saw Regan's form as a beginner, he was doing the same thing that so many strong adults do.
I was just throwing it as hard as I could forwards and getting lucky where it would go.
He was muscling the disc with his upper body, and he had no connection to the ground. And the first thing that I set to work on with Regan was getting him glued to the ground. There's a requisite amount of energy. There's an expectation of energetic reward when you stomp on the ground, right? Think about where that brace needs to hit in the upper left-hand corner with that shoulder alignment to create that linear swing. That your right leg is just gonna be like, oh, that's tasty. You were aided in that by something extremely important, that Regan played college basketball, and he's 5'9", he's roughly my height. In order to compensate for the fact that he was 5'9" in a sport where you compete with giants, Regan had a ridiculous vertical leap. He could jump 40 inches off the ground. 40-inch vertical, imagine that. As soon as I heard that, I knew that that was the secret to unlocking Regan's ability to throw the disc far. We had to harness the energy in his right quad. And in order to do that, we had to use the method to create initial ground stability. So that's what we started on first. How do you brace up in the left-hand corner to just turn the nose slightly down? Bam.
One of the things that I'm learning from Brian is the lower body mechanics, and specifically the brace, and being able to drive my front leg into the ground and then explode out of that to be able to propel the disc forward. And that has helped me improve greatly.
That right quad is unbelievably powerful. I can just see it firing and shaking the ground. Incredible. He has learned to harness the engines of his left and right leg, particularly that powerful right quad, to add incredible energy to the disc. And while he's still figuring out the perfect upper body positions, he throws with incredible leverage and intensity. So I expect the disc to bomb. Boom. So something I'm seeing, I think that you are looking back a bit too early.
Everything that Brian's instructing me is great. He's been able to tweak a few things in my swing that have felt phenomenal, and he has me bombing discs. Okay.
And what that means to me is that your center of mass is beginning to rotate alongside your head backwards. So we're making these little micro adjustments. He starts throwing the drivers. He clubs up to these drivers, and it's taking him a while to figure out the angle of attack. Something happens just ever so slightly, and the disc is like firing off to the right, and you go, what the hell? Think about the alignment of the foot and the back shoulder. That creates the target line.
So far, it's going better than expected. I love the shot shape I'm able to put on the disc, and the distance is great.
There we go.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Oh, very good.
Such a good brace, just bang. I and my team have taught Regan how to brace beautifully, to plant his body rooted to the ground, and to add momentum to that beautiful brace. The result of that is biomechanical perfection. When you look at Regan's form frame by frame, it gets better the more you slow it down. And he's been playing for 3 months. What the hell? When we first set out, Regan was getting used to the pad, but he latched onto it quick. The kid is really talented. He's an insane athlete, and it really shows right away, because as soon as I gave him a few pointers, it started to click, and he started throwing ballistics. Anybody that's ever used a speed gun on their throw knows how hard 60 miles an hour is. Beautiful, 64. The average player throws down like 48 to 52, at least for now. 66. But my intention is that the method system will transform the baseline of the ecosystem and get everybody up into the high 50, 60 mile an hour range. And then guys like Regan can take it much further. And who knows what the future holds? I think he could hit 75. I think he might even be able to hit 80 in time. We'll see. Today is amazing. Meeting Regan, watching the disc rocket and roar has been incredibly exciting and validating.
The method has made my growth faster than it should have been over the last 3 months. It has given me a sense of foundation to the ground that I'm able to explode off, basically to make the disc go far. The method works.